Have you ever, in a split second, genuinely felt like everyone around you is just incredibly dumb? Don't be so quick to label yourself as arrogant or mean, and don't panic over this seemingly outrageous thought. The reason you feel this way isn't because you lack emotional intelligence, nor is it due to a personality flaw. The answer might come off as a bit offensive, but it's undeniably real. It's that, on a cognitive level, you've truly left them far behind. I know this feeling has been eating away at you for a long time. You feel like a highly intelligent alien, forced to land in a primitive tribe. You keep questioning whether there's something wrong with you, yet no matter how hard you try, you just can't genuinely connect with groups that make you feel intellectually insulted and spiritually drained. Oh, in today's video, I'm going to peel back the layers of the overly romanticized concept of fitting in through 6 eye-opening perspectives that will completely challenge everything you thought you knew. You'll uncover the uncomfortable truth hiding behind it. As you watch, you'll not only experience a powerful reconciliation with a part of yourself that often feels lonely and misunderstood, but you'll also discover how to turn that misunderstood aloofness into your sharpest and most brilliant weapon. And at the end of the video, I'll share a social mindset I've kept to myself for years. It will empower you to effortlessly build deep, high-quality connections with anyone, anytime you need, while keeping your soul entirely free and dignified. Oh, make sure to read until the end. Let's first explore the deeper reasons why you might feel like you don't fit in. 1. Differences in cognitive depth and information processing speed make it hard for you to connect with others' joy. You've probably found yourself in situations like this. At the office, co-workers are gathered around, laughing uncontrollably at celebrity gossip or a trending meme, while you stand off to the side with a polite smile, feeling indifferent, maybe even slightly puzzled. At a dinner party, everyone is raising their glasses and chatting excitedly about cars, houses, and the everyday details of raising kids. The atmosphere is lively, yet you feel as if your soul is floating near the ceiling, observing it all from above, overcome by a sense of emptiness. You're not aloof, nor are you arrogant. You simply don't get their joy. Here, don't get doesn't refer to a language barrier, but rather a mismatch in cognitive frequency. This stems from a fundamental difference between you and most people: the depth of your cognition and the speed at which you process information. In psychology, there's a concept called need for cognition, which refers to an individual's tendency to engage in and enjoy deep, effortful thinking. People with a high need for cognition, like you, have brains that function as high-powered analytical engines. When information comes in, your brain instinctively processes it on a deeper level. When others watch a funny video, their reaction stays at the surface. Haha, that was hilarious. And your brain might have instantly gone through multiple layers of analysis. What's the narrative structure of this video? Why does it trigger people's sense of humor? What current social emotions and cultural memes does it reflect? How is it being disseminated? While others are focused on the moral drama, who's right and who's wrong, and indulging their curiosity about the details of a celebrity divorce, your mind might have already wandered to the fragility of modern marriage, the boundaries of privacy for public figures, and how the media manipulates public sentiment to generate traffic. See the difference? You're in the same information space as they are, but you're playing an entirely different level of the game. They are content with surface-level information, drawn to instant, effortless emotional stimulation. You, on the other hand, are instinctively driven to explore the logic, structure, and meaning behind the information. This way of thinking makes it nearly impossible for you to take genuine interest in the kind of shallow, unsubstantial information fast food that others consume so easily. It's like being a professional basketball player dominating on the court, yet having to spend every day playing with kids using a rubber ball. That sense of boredom and disconnect is inevitable. Polish psychologist Kazimierz Dabrowski proposed the theory of overexcitabilities, one of which is intellectual overexcitability. People with this trait possess an insatiable thirst for knowledge. They love to analyze, synthesize, and pursue truth, and they find it difficult to tolerate stagnation or superficiality in thought. So, when you find yourself unable to engage in lighthearted, giggly small talk, please don't doubt yourself or think there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain simply operates at a higher level of processing and finds it difficult to connect with low-energy conversations. What you interpret as not fitting in is, at its core, your cognitive system automatically filtering out ineffective information and low-quality thinking. It's a form of self-protection, and more importantly, a reflection of your inner intelligence. You're simply staying true to the way your brain naturally functions. Let's go a step further. What is the essence of social interaction? For many people, socializing is a calculated exchange of resources and a strategic game of interests. I get to know you so that one day you might be of use to me. I attend this dinner to build connections that can help bring my project to life. I maintain this group chat to gather potential client leads. All of this can be summed up as interest-based connections. At its core, it's about being useful, about value exchange. And you're deeply tired of it. It's not that you don't understand the rules. On the contrary, with your intelligence, you could play the game better than most. But you choose not to, because deep down, what you yearn for is something entirely different, meaning-based connections. This is the second reason why you don't quite fit in. What are meaning-based connections? They aren't about what you can do for me, but rather what we can feel and understand together. They seek resonance on a soul level, the spark of intellectual connection and deep emotional exchange. It's when you share an obscure opinion and the other person immediately grasps the unspoken meaning behind it. When you feel lost in the middle of the night and can open up about your most vulnerable self without any need for explanation. When two silent souls sit together and still feel a profound sense of companionship and understanding. This kind of connection is portrayed in the movie Good Will Hunting, in the journey from confrontation to eventual embrace and reconciliation between the genius Will and the psychologist Sean. What binds them isn't status or personal gain, but their shared broken pasts and mutual confusion about life. It's also the kind of connection depicted in Lost in Translation, where two lonely souls in a foreign land find a fleeting moment of solace in their brief encounter. In a social scene driven by interest-based connections, it feels like you're part of an elaborate cosplay. You have to put on the masks of being enthusiastic, talkative, and valuable, exchanging hollow pleasantries and collecting phone numbers you'll never call. Each of these interactions is a major drain on your energy because they go against your deepest expectations of what relationships should be. According to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, once basic physiological and safety needs are met, people seek love and a sense of belonging. But many people mistakenly equate belonging with being accepted by just any group. For a more discerning soul, true belonging comes from finding kindred spirits, even if it's just one. Quality will always triumph over quantity. The reason you may seem out of place is because you have an exceptionally discerning social filter. This filter doesn't exclude people who lack value, but rather those whose frequencies don't resonate with yours to create a meaningful connection. You would rather enjoy high-quality solitude than pretend your way through low-quality social interactions. To the outside world, this might make you appear lonely or disengaged. But in truth, it's a profound expression of staying true to yourself. In your own way, you're safeguarding a sacred space within your heart for genuine, pure connections. You're not rejecting the world. You're simply waiting for someone who truly understands the voice of your soul. So the next time you feel an instinctive aversion to a bustling social event, remind yourself, this isn't social anxiety. It's your soul telling you, there's nothing here that I'm looking for. 3. The third reason is that your excessive empathy instinctively drives you to avoid crowds. Have you ever experienced this? After talking with a friend, even though they were the one venting, you end up feeling even more exhausted than they are, unable to shake it off for the rest of the night. When you walk into a crowded mall or subway car, you suddenly feel irritable and anxious, as if the air is filled with invisible pressure. After a meeting, not only do you remember everything everyone said, but you also keenly pick up on the boss's need for control, colleague A's jealousy, and colleague B's indifference. These micro-expressions and emotional undercurrents feel like countless needles piercing into you. If these situations sound familiar, then your sense of being out of place may actually come from a gift and a burden, an unusually high level of empathy. Psychologist Elaine Aron introduced the concept of the highly sensitive person, or HSP. High sensitivity is not the same as being emotionally fragile. It's an innate trait of the nervous system that enables you to process sensory and emotional information more deeply. Studies have found that a high proportion of people with high IQs are also highly sensitive. Your brain is like a supercomputer without an emotional firewall. When you're in a crowd, you're not just picking up on spoken words, you're also absorbing a flood of emotions. Others' joy, sadness, anxiety, fear, insincerity. You're like a sponge, unconsciously soaking in all of it. For most people, emotional boundaries are fairly clear. They can easily tell, these are my feelings, those are his. But for you, that line is often blurred. A friend's pain becomes your own, A sorrowful glance from a stranger can stir deep emotions within you. This heightened empathy makes social interactions far more mentally and emotionally taxing for you than for most. While others are enjoying the buzz of a party, you might be struggling to navigate a tangled web of emotions from dozens of people. To your nervous system, it's nothing short of an assault. So you choose to avoid crowds, not because you're indifferent, but because you're deeply attuned. Your solitude is a necessary form of relief. You need a quiet environment to process and release emotional baggage that doesn't belong to you, helping you restore your inner balance and peace. From a spiritual perspective, this can also be seen as your energy field being more open and sensitive. You're easily affected by the emotions of the collective unconscious. When you feel socially drained, it's actually your energy system sending a warning. Low battery, please recharge. And solitude is your most effective way to do that. So, stop feeling guilty for needing plenty of alone time. This isn't about being antisocial, it's a deep expression of self-love and self-protection. You are safeguarding your precious inner energy, keeping it from being depleted by a flood of meaningless emotions. It's not that you're antisocial, you simply need to power down your soul from time to stay at your best. When properly channeled, your sensitivity can become a powerful asset, giving you remarkable insight and creativity, and allowing you to perceive depths of human nature that most people can't begin to grasp. 4. Your natural skepticism toward groupthink makes it hard for you to follow blindly. In the meeting room, the boss unveils a flashy new plan. Everyone nods in agreement, voices filled with praise. But you furrow your brow and can't help but speak up. Wait a minute, how exactly was the budget for this plan calculated? Have we considered the execution risk? There seems to be a paradox at the heart of its logic. In that moment, all eyes turn to you, some puzzled, some displeased. You've become the discordant note in the room. Do you often find yourself in this role? The one who always voices objections, the one who dares to speak the truth. In group settings, this kind of behavior is often labeled as being difficult, contrarian, or lacking emotional intelligence. But in reality, it's a clear sign of your intellectual strength. You have a natural resistance to groupthink. Groupthink is a concept introduced by social psychologist Irving Janis. It describes how, in highly cohesive groups, members often suppress their genuine, critical thoughts in order to maintain harmony, which can lead to a sharp decline in the quality of decision-making. People, in order to fit in and avoid being isolated, often choose to abandon independent thinking and follow the crowd blindly. But you're different. Your mind is wired for logical reasoning and critical thinking. When an idea is presented, your first instinct isn't to ask, does everyone agree with this? But rather, does this idea actually hold up? You naturally look for logical gaps, factual inaccuracies, and potential risks. This is a rare and valuable cognitive skill. Throughout human history, countless disasters, from the Challenger space shuttle explosion to the bursting of financial market bubbles, have been closely linked to groupthink. It is the absence of voices like yours, willing to question and challenge, that has often led to collective irrationality. You are wary of groups because you understand deeply. 1. Groups can lower intelligence. French social psychologist Gustave Le Bon pointed out in his classic work The Crowd, a study of the popular mind, that once an individual becomes part of a group, their personality is overshadowed, and the group's mentality takes control. Within a group, emotions spread easily, and rational thinking quickly gives way to impulsiveness and gullibility. 2. Groups can suppress the truth. In the pursuit of belonging, people tend to align with the dominant views of the group, even when those views are incorrect. The famous Asch conformity experiments demonstrated that, even when faced with an obvious truth, intense peer pressure can compel individuals to speak against their own beliefs. Groups can foster a false sense of security. The mentality of, the law doesn't punish the majority, makes people more prone to act irresponsibly or even unethically within a group. You have an almost instinctive understanding of this. That's why you're willing to risk isolation to uphold your independent judgment. You don't question for the sake of opposition, you question in pursuit of truth. It's not that you can't fit in, it's that you refuse to accept intellectual complacency and laziness. This so-called not fitting in is actually the most valuable presence on a team, the kind of person an organization needs the most. It enables you to stay clear-headed when others blindly follow the crowd and to raise the alarm when others fall into collective silence. It's a rare quality, a true form of wisdom and courage. Oh, be sure to cherish the opposer within you. It is the guardian of your independent thinking. 5. The fifth reason for not fitting in: you're growing too fast and constantly leaving behind those who can't keep up. Do you ever feel a sense of loneliness, where everything around you looks the same, but the people have changed? As you scroll through your social media posts from a few years ago, you see friends with whom you once had deep, late-night conversations and shared everything. Now, there's hardly anything to talk about. You eagerly share your latest thoughts on quantum entanglement or a business model you're currently exploring, only to get an awkward "that's impressive" in return, before they quickly shift the conversation back to family matters or celebrity gossip. You realize that the distance between you is no longer physical, it's cognitive. This phenomenon is particularly common among intelligent individuals with a growth mindset. The root of it lies in the fact that your personal development follows a steep exponential curve, while many others remain on a gentle linear path, or even become stagnant. A sharp mind is never satisfied with the status quo. You're like a perpetual motion machine, constantly acquiring new knowledge, exploring new fields, and refining your cognitive framework. Who you are today is no longer who you were a year ago, and who you'll be tomorrow will undoubtedly surpass who you are today. Your world is expanding and deepening at a remarkable pace. Interpersonal relationships, especially deep friendships, are built on shared cognitive levels, aligned values, and a synchronized pace of growth. When your pace of growth far outstrips that of your friends, the balance begins to break. It's like two boats setting sail together. Yours has been upgraded to a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, charging full speed into the vast, uncharted deep blue. Theirs, perhaps, is still a small sailboat content with fishing near the shore. At first, you could sail side by side, but over time, your silhouette grows smaller and smaller in their sight, until it disappears beyond the horizon. It's not your fault, nor is it theirs. It's simply the natural divergence of different life paths. This process is often painful and accompanied by a sense of guilt. You may feel as though you've betrayed your past, and you may yearn for the simplicity and closeness you once shared. But you must understand that true growth inevitably involves loss. You have to let go of the people and things that can't keep up with your pace in order to make space for those that better align with your current stage of life. This isn't about being heartless, it's about being completely loyal to yourself. Forcing people with entirely different mindsets to stay in your life becomes a burden for both sides. You'll feel stifled from not being understood, and they'll feel insecure for not being able to keep up with your thoughts. So if you find yourself gradually drifting away from old friends, don't be overly sad or blame yourself. It's actually a sign that you're growing rapidly. What you perceive as not fitting in is simply the view you encounter as you continue to climb higher. You're letting go of some old connections, but at the same time, you're opening yourself up to the possibility of meeting people who operate at a higher energy level. Adult friendships are, at their core, a dynamic and mutual process of selection. Embrace the fluid nature of relationships, send your blessings to those who once walked beside you, and then continue moving forward, bravely and with conviction, in your own direction. Your loneliness is a badge of your rapid growth. 6. You enjoy high-quality solitude more. You've probably heard comments like these more than once. You're by yourself? That's so sad. Don't always stay alone. Go out, meet people, make some friends. In mainstream culture, solitude is often equated with being lonely, pitiful, or abnormal. People can't understand why someone would willingly choose to be alone. But for you, solitude is an entirely different concept. It's not loneliness, the pain that comes from a lack of connection, but solitude, a joyful state of being alone by choice. To you, solitude isn't a form of deprivation, but a form of abundance. It's a sanctuary you've intentionally and lovingly created for yourself. Why? Because a sharp and complex mind needs plenty of quiet space for internal integration. Your brain is constantly running countless programs in the background, replaying conversations from the day, brainstorming a new idea, connecting two seemingly unrelated pieces of knowledge, exploring a deep philosophical question. These high-energy cognitive processes simply can't unfold in a noisy, chaotic environment. Just as a supercomputer needs a temperature-controlled, dust-free room to function at its best, your brain also requires solitude, the optimal environment, to perform its most vital tasks, thinking and creating. When you're alone, only then can you truly hear your own voice. Amid the noise of the outside world, what we hear are the expectations of others, the demands of society, the clamor of the crowd. It is only in complete silence that the faint but authentic voice within you can be heard. Your intuition, your inspiration, your deepest desires, all rise to the surface in that moment. Only then can your mind enter a deep mode. Computer scientist Cal Newport explains in his book Deep Work that the ability to produce high-quality results comes from sustained periods of focused, distraction-free work. Solitude is an essential condition for entering this deep mode. Great ideas, disruptive innovations, and profound works of art are almost always born in moments of deep solitude. Newton, Einstein, and Tesla were all masters at embracing and making the most of solitude. As mentioned earlier, your high empathy and sensitivity cause you to expend a significant amount of energy in social situations. Solitude is your way of recharging and restoring. Through reading, reflection, meditation, or simply letting your mind wander, you recalibrate your energy field, release the chaotic energy absorbed from the outside world, and restore your inner harmony and strength. The philosopher Pascal once said something deeply thought-provoking: all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. People fear solitude because when the noise of the outside world fades, they are left to face the emptiness and lack within themselves. And you cherish solitude because only when the world falls silent can you enter your own inner universe, one as lush as a garden in full bloom, as boundless as a sea of stars. So embrace your alone time with pride. It's not evidence that you're antisocial, but rather a vital condition for engaging in higher-level mental activity. Your solitude isn't loneliness. It's a rendezvous with your higher self, with knowledge, with inspiration. It is a luxury, a source of strength, a form of wisdom. What you call reclusiveness is, in fact, a magnificent act of creation unfolding in your private sanctuary, hidden from the outside world. Now, let's review and summarize the reasons we've just discussed for why you might feel out of place. From differences in cognitive frequency to a deep yearning for meaningful connections. From self-protection triggered by empathy overload to an innate caution toward groupthink. From the inevitable filtering that comes with rapid personal growth to viewing solitude as a sacred space for creation, I hope you can now clearly see a brand new image. One that is about you, but no longer covered in misunderstood labels like misfit, aloof, or introverted. So please stop punishing yourself with these labels. You don't need to force yourself to fit into a world that doesn't align with who you are, or to follow rules that were never made for you. What you need is to move peacefully along your own path, radiating your unique light and warmth. Then, naturally, the stars drawn to your light and in tune with your frequency resonance will come closer, joining you to form a truly brilliant and harmonious night sky. Now, let's return to our original promise. The social wisdom that enables you, when needed, to connect with others effortlessly while preserving your independent core. Actually, it's very simple. Just one word. Curiosity. When you find yourself entering a social situation, let go of all your mental baggage. Don't think, what should I say to sound smart? How can I act to be liked? What can I get from this person? Set all of that aside. Go in with just one intention. Like an anthropologist exploring a remote tribe, approach every person you meet with pure, non-judgmental curiosity. Why does this person think that way? What life experiences has shaped them? What has influenced the values they hold today? What do they truly love and fear? When you listen and ask questions from that place of genuine curiosity, amazing things begin to happen. You no longer need to perform because your curiosity is real. You no longer feel pressured because you've shifted from being someone under scrutiny to someone engaged in exploration. You ask the most insightful questions and become the most sought-after listener. And that, precisely, is the highest form of social charisma. Most importantly, you haven't lost yourself in the process. You're simply getting to know another human being in an open and safe way. You build connections while perfectly preserving your own independent core. To wrap up our exploration today, I'd like to leave you with a quote from the philosopher Nietzsche. It beautifully captures the essence of the experience you've always had. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. You're not out of place. You're simply dancing to an inner rhythm, a rich, abundant dance that many around you can't hear, the unique and beautiful music that belongs to you alone. So keep dancing. Dance proudly, unapologetically, and for yourself. This is your gift, and it's also your destiny. That's it for today's video. I hope it gives you strength. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.